Uh, yeah. So we watching something different. This is like shit I be watching. I'm just gonna stream it because fuck it.
You know, magistrators, you know, and the governors and the mayors and everything to do it. And what that's going to do is that's going to force the states to come head to head with the unions in their state, and things like LAUSD, which is the largest school district.
What they talking about is basically Trump trying to get rid of the Department of Education, and basically I guess you can't get rid of it because it's a government entity, so they could basically stop the funding and make it not that useful. And yeah, and it's basically all the viewpoints on it. Like, I feel like they are like right wing it, but they still have a different perspective. That's why I watched them.
United States, Los Angeles, and by its own admission and the admission of people that have been there on city council, probably the poorest run school district in the United States. So, okay, now let's move all this down local and let's see if we can get some change out of it. It's not just about setting standards, it's then dealing with all the issues. And rather than IDEA coming from the federal government, we don't want it to go away. Something's going to have to replace the programs that are good, but let the state do it. They're at 93% of the total spend. 46 from the state and 44 from the local, right?
Right.
But take that the 7 cent, you can keep. Let's do something else with the money, but let's not have the government with the huge.
It's not a lot of money. Just take it. It's not to take the 7.7
It's not
out.
the money. It's the control.
I totally get that. Yeah, I totally get understand what you're saying.
So you can do it without getting rid of the DOE. You can keep the parts that work, and you get rid of the parts that don't. And these are political judgments. The president can do a lot of it on his own. If he can't, then he turns to his party and says, "This is what I want."
And you're going to find unions that are screaming at senators who are screaming.
If they get rid of it, I think DOE getting rid of DOE would be massive.
I don't think they're going to get rid of the entire agency, but again, you don't have to make the kinds of changes that are being discussed.
But you almost have to for the next administration to come in. You need to show the example of. If you don't, the next guy can come in and say no. Let's impose DEI. Let's bring back all the mindsets that we had before. Let's bring that back again. Yeah. Somebody can bring that back. It's been proven it didn't work. Adam, your thoughts on this?
Would you agree that there needs to be a dramatic change here? It's not like these are small numbers. Alarming lows. 40% of fourth graders, that's not 4%. 40% of fourth graders and 33% of eighth graders below basic levels. Basic levels.
Yeah.
Almost half below.
You don't.
So I posted this the other day because I want to give a shout out to hopefully the Eagles can beat the Chiefs this week. Do you remember when the mayor came out last week and she was like basically saying, "Let's go Eagles, E."
She spelled it wrong.
L G.
No, she didn't.
Watch this.
Yeah, she did. Let me hear you all say ELGLES Eagles.
She did. Wow.
Yeah. There she goes right there.
Do you think she can't spell Eagles?
I'm just saying it's
Do you
anecdotal.
think she can't spell? It's not anecdotal. It's bullshit.
She did.
But you know what? Before I posted that ridiculousness, I said, let me actually find out what the hell's going on.
How to spell Eagles?
In
PBD
Philly.
podcast.
According to the 2022 National Assessment of Education Progress, the nation's report card, Philadelphia's fourth grade students had an average reading score of 195. That's below the average of large cities. Only 13% of Philadelphia's fourth graders was considered proficient in reading, well below the 40% that we talked about over there. Adult literacy is pressing concern in Philadelphia. Approximately 52% of adults in the city are functionally illiterate, meaning they struggle with basic reading. That's
Rob.
Adults, 52%.
Yeah.
These statistics highlight the urgent need for comprehensive educational reform and literacy programs.
Rob reads
Let's
gooder
go
than you.
EGLSES.
I just had some hibachi. That shit was gas.
Rob reads
I
gooder
know
than
that's
you.
anecdotal.
This is not.
I know that's anecdotal.
This is not
but the numbers
new.
don't lie.
This is not new.
Tom says it all the time. Words talk, numbers scream. We got some dumbass people in this country.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah, you
and
do.
it's not a Democratic thing or Republican
No,
thing.
it is not.
Because if you look at what states are doing
They
well and
both
what
take
states are not
advantage
doing
of it.
well, they all stupid is and stupid does.
Yeah, but this has existed for a long time. And we have a culture of accommodation, not of excellence. One of the reasons you guys have been able to distinguish yourselves is that Pat is so results focused and oriented. You do not have that in our culture in a lot of places, specifically within our systems. You don't have it. You don't have it in our government. You don't have it in our education system.
Vivek, could you unpack that for me a little more?
Look, I mean, I don't think these are new arguments. The question gets into, well, how do you change it? And the biggest thing in politics that people don't want to touch, you will not hear, whether it's Trump, I don't care who the politician is. No one's going to say, you know, Pat, your kids aren't doing well. You're not getting it done as a parent. How much phone time you letting them have? How much do you make your kid read every night? Well, I got to work. I got to do this. Life. No, I understand. But, you know, it's on you. Your kid is a reflection of your efforts. Well, you're not going to hear anybody say that.
Wow.
You're not going to hear anybody say that. Why? Because I'm not there. You're not voting for me now. So our politics is about giving somebody an excuse for their own behavior. And, you know, oh, we spend too much money. If we spent less or we did it differently or the states had more control. If you don't raise your kids right, it doesn't matter what school they're going to. I've had my oldest kid went to what some think anecdotally, to your point, is the best high school in the country, okay? Trinity in New York City, private school. I'm telling you, as somebody who watched her go through that school from K to 12, okay? She's only going to do as well as we make her do.
Yep.
She was blessed with a good brain. What she's going to make of it is about what her mother insisted on every frickin' night. And in the fights that we had over this stupid thing. And the best thing a school has ever done for me was what my public school in Sag Harbor did, of Long Island, of making you not allowed to have this phone in school. My kid has changed academically because the environment has changed. She doesn't have to compete with her friends about this distraction machine. Good. And that is something that a school can do. But otherwise, it's on parents. You know, we're trying to absent them from this. It's not fair.
We are on the same page on the responsibility where it's at.
I mean, look at your kids.
Yeah.
Look how you are with them. What do you think? It's just a coincidence? It's just genetics that they're doing what they're doing at this young age? You're making it happen for them.
And great point, Pat. Because I know you want to move on, Pat. This is one of our stories, but we don't have to get into it. Teens spend more than a quarter of their time at schools on their phones. A quarter.
I believe it.
Holy moly.
A quarter of the, what does it say, teens spend what?
Teens spend, it's on miscellaneous, the first one.
Yeah.
Teens spend more than a quarter of their time. So Seattle Children's Hospital tracking 115 students, 8 to 12. 25%, they spend 2 hours on their phones in a 6-hour day, 6.5-hour day.
Have you watched this generation watch a movie at home?
Oh, forget it.
They watch the movie and they're on the phone.
At the same time.
And if you say, do you not like the movie? Do you want me to pick another one up? Oh, no, I like this. Nothing's happening right now in the movie. I said, what are you talking about? The movie is happening.
The plot.
That's what's happening. Yeah. No, nothing's happening when something happens.
Yeah. It's too much.
I'm telling you, I know our parents were the same way with the TV, the boob tube. It's nothing like this. Nothing like this. And the research is all over the place, but we don't deal with it. Why? Because it's hard.
Yeah.
Well, we like to pick on Colorado, at least I do, because it's a big blue liberal state and a lot of things. But they just became the 20th state to put in cell phone restrictions at high school. Phone goes in a Faraday bag during class, and you have to be 100% paying attention. And, you know, it's a good thing.
No social media until 16. That should be the national law.
Well, what did DeSantis impose here? Was it 15
Australia
or 13?
was right.
Social media, yeah.
Australia
What did
was right.
DeSantis impose here in Florida? Was
I
it
think it
13
is
or 15?
Whatever he did is good. I don't even know. I haven't heard of it.
Yeah.
But anything, I'm telling you, if I could go back in time and fight one fight and win, I would have never given my kids a smartphone.
What age did you give them a phone?
Whenever they wanted it. Whenever
What
the
age?
other kids started getting it. And it got younger and younger with each
you
kid.
remember what age?
Bella didn't get it until she was 13 or something like that. Mario was probably then going to be like 12 because she had it. Cha-Cha was going to be like 11 because her friends had. And you lose because you're weak and you want it easy.
Anxious
and you want to
generation.
pick your fights.
And
it's a mistake.
Have you read Anxious Generation?
You're right.
Anxious Generation.
And the less and less I go on, you know, Pat was joking around with me when I came in saying, hey, you look good today. I'm telling you, I have made a conscious decision. Now, my timing's not great because social media is more relevant in our world than it ever has been in media. But I have made a conscious decision to not be on it as often. And I've seen the change in my search. My search thing is now dominated by car restorations and changing shoes on horses and dealing with problems with cows. I could be a farrier. I watch so many videos about how to deal with ulcers on cow hooves. Why? because I am making a conscious effort. I'm doing homework all day for my shows.
You got
all
an
day.
exciting life, Cuomo.
But
watching
I'm
the
telling you,
cow
the
hoof
more
videos.
I disengage from what's happening on social media, the happier
Have you
I
read
become.
Anxious Generation?
You need to.
I have not read Anxious
You
amazing.
wouldn't be able to put it down.
Yeah, it's
you
a-
wouldn't be able to put it down.
Yeah.
By Jonathan Haidt, phenomenal book, guys. If you
Oh,
you've
yes,
heard-
yes. I have this book. I have not read it. Somebody just sent it
you
to me.
will not be able to put it down. I don't know how many times we talk about this thing. It's a must read for every parent to go through. The guy's got systems on how to deal with it, which I think it's fascinating. I think it's fascinating.
And you see parents adjusting these new groups. You probably see them here a lot in Florida. Remember when we used to have the girls wear the promise rings, and I'm not gonna have sex until this age or whatever it was. There are kids now who are agreeing not until high school or something like that, as middle schoolers, where we're all going to stay with flip phones, or we're all going to not have social media as a group, as a team, until this age. And it's a great way to counter something that you cannot convince me is good for kids.
I absolutely love that idea. For President's Day, we have a limited edition merch that you can go order on vtmerch.com for President's Day. Bunch of cool stuff. This one right here, look, whatever you do, if you're not going to order anything, order this
That
one.
one
It
is
is
badass.
absolutely sick. This is an actual photo taken of Abraham Lincoln with the glasses when he said future looks bright.
Yes.
And he said, by the way, one of the best things is he says, there was a tweet about Abraham Lincoln on Twitter. He says, don't believe everything on the internet, something like that. When I used to tweet back in the days,
Yeah.
it's just funny. But anyways, hey, President's Day, we got Abraham Lincoln shirt. Future looks bright. It's sick. The quality is the best. Feel the quality, Chris, how sick this is.
The Abe Lincoln thing is
Chris,
great.
wake
man.
up. Chris.
Future looks bright. Let's go to the
We
theater.
got Future Looks Bright sweaters. We got a bunch of other gear here. Whatever you do, go to vtmerch.com. Place the order. You get a White House sticker and a Future Looks Bright sticker. I got my Future Looks Bright sticker and Vitamin sticker on the back of my phone. And I think it's what's the number here?
I gave my inaugural shirt, the white one that I wore on the show.
Yeah.
I gave it to a very good friend of mine who loves you guys. And he gave me a great idea about Future Looks Bright.
What's that?
He says, you know what it is? He says, it's a secret test, Future Looks Bright. I was like, no, I don't think it is. I think Pat's just trying to be optimistic. He goes, exactly. If anybody looks at my shirt and says future looks bright and has a problem with it, he goes, they're an Americant. He said, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, that is true. What would be your problem
Yeah, with
it?
that.
Future looks bright.
That's right.
Why don't you want the future to look bright?
bright.
And by the way, while you're
I
saying
think he had an Ellsworth Sosnick version of that.
it could have. But anyways, the future looks bright. We also have for President's Day, we have a 47% off for 47. Rob, if you want to go to that category as well, there's a bunch of things there.
Did I see
Go
that these
place
shirts
your
are only
order.
$18 now?
Yes.
Wow,
sale.
that's a
It's a sale.
deal.
Yeah, for sure. So go to vtmerch.com, place your order, especially the Lincoln one, because that one is limited. It'll go very, very quickly. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.
Concentrate fire on the target. Enemy battleship sunk. Enemy battleship detected. Enemy submarine spotted. Attention. Reporting the target position. Enemy heavily damaged. Enemy battleship detected. Enemy battleship foundered. I need intelligence data. destroyer detected. Problem solved, sir. The ship is on fire.
Battleship sunk.
All stations, reporting the position of a strategic target.
Requesting support.
I owe you one.
Enemy destroyer blown up.
Engine boost deactivated.
The Biden White House is discussing preemptive pardons for those in Trump's crosshairs, okay? And there's quite a few of them here. I don't know, Rob, if he's explaining in the video or not. Biden's aides, led by White House counsel Ed Siskel, are debating preemptive pardons for public affairs officials could face retaliation, including Adam Schiff, Liz Cheney. Fauci. Schiff rejected the idea, saying, I would urge the president not to do that. I think it would seem defensive and unnecessary. The time for cautious restraints is over. We must act with urgency to push back against these treats and prevent Trump from abusing its power, et cetera, et cetera. Rob, if you want to play this clip, go for it.
Yeah, so this is, just so you know, this is from 2020. This is Joy Reid with Adam Schiff, where they talk about preemptive pardons when it comes to Donald Trump possibly pardoning his children and why that was a huge problem.
Okay, weird.
Barack Obama never had to think about whether he needed to pardon Sasha and Valia, and yet Donald Trump is reportedly discussing pardons for his kids. The presidential pardon was originally meant to grant the president the power to temper justice with mercy. It was not enshrined in our Constitution so that a dishonorable man could reward his criminal allies, friends, and family for their corrupt practices. Trump is considering preemptive pardons for his adult children. Late last night, we learned that Trump has discussed preemptive pardons for his three eldest progeny. The news was first reported by the New York Times. And joining me now is Congressman Adam Schiff of California, chairman of the House Intelligence Committee. Have you ever heard of somebody getting a preemptive pardon who was innocent of all crime? Who's just an innocent person? Have you ever heard of that? Just somebody getting a blanket pardon and they're an innocent person?
But no, it's the president's own family. It's people that have been covering up for the president in addition to his own family. This is hilarious. And so there is a self-interest at play as well. It's been essentially a den of thieves environment. And so I think the president views this as his way of trying to protect those that have protected him.
Kevin Spacey right there.
What's the other clip you got, Rob?
The other is just an MSNBC analyst explaining why Biden should issue preemptive pardons.
Let's see what this person says. I'm curious.
Grant of clemency. I hope that President Biden will also issue preemptive pardons to all of those people threatened by the injustice of what will become the Department of Justice in the Trump administration. That, of course, includes Jack Smith and all of his staff, many Department of Justice lawyers. It includes President Biden himself, although we don't know that anyone can legally pardon themselves. He will need a pardon because he is going to be harassed and charged for no crimes whatsoever. Donald Trump has promised that.
Anthony, to pick up
by
on
the
that.
way, what's his name? Yesterday, I'm watching Rand Paul, and Rand Paul says Fauci is probably going to get a pardon. He's saying, and you know, Rand Paul and those two have been going back and forth. He's probably going to get a pardon. Then he said Biden could potentially pardon his own brother and give the same kind of a pardon. And the trickiest one that was said is that he may even pardon himself because of what could happen. Now, has there ever been a president that pardoned themselves?
Not as far as I know. So, look, I used to be friends with Joy Reid when I was an anchor on MSNBC. And so we had a huge falling out afterwards. And the reason is, what is that? I mean, look at the propaganda. So I'm principled. I don't think that Trump should have pardoned Steve Bannon, Roger Stone, Charles Kushner. Charles Kushner's family had nothing to do with the administration at the time. But I also don't think Hunter Biden should be pardoned. I don't think Adam Schiff and all these people need to be pardoned. So what do we? First of all, there is no such. This is an invention, preemptive pardon. What the f is that? Right? That's not a thing, right? So you got to be charged with a crime. You actually have to be convicted of a crime before you get a pardon. But Trump screwed that up because the minute any of his allies were in trouble, I pardon. So Trump definitely did it. But you can't, if you're Joy Reid or you're MSNBC or you're these people, you can't say, I can't believe Trump was thinking of pardoning his family members or pardon. Oh, but of course Biden should pardon his family members and all of his allies, etc. So the idea of staying principled is just an anathema to them. They hate it. And so, look, I have a suggestion. Let's see if we can agree to this one. I have one pardon suggestion for Trump, but Biden could beat him to the punch and get all the glory. Pardon Edward Snowden. Okay, Edward Snowden revealed
talking about that.
the deep state, wiretapping us, listening to average Americans, right? He's an American hero. The left-wing populists have always thought Edward Snowden was a hero. And so can we get an agreement here that a pardon of Edward Snowden makes sense?
I agree 100% that he needs to get pardoned. I do.
Yeah.
We don't watch no old shit.